that's what we're going to be talking about today.
That's what we're talking about, the importance of smiling and laughing and why it's a big deal.
Now, your office and you in particular stay up to date on what is happening, and you just got back from a big trip in Europe where you said it's the biggest dental conference in the world?
So there's giant dental meetings in Chicago and New York, but the largest dental meeting in the world happens in a small town in Germany, Cologne, Germany, every 2 years, and people from every continent and every country come in. It's crazy.
Why Germany?
Honestly, I can't tell you why.
It's that where dental science of dentistry began? Or?
I really don't think it has a whole lot to do with it. I think what it has to do with is that the regulations are different. There's no FDA in Europe, and so things get passed easier and faster, and so they release all of the new products and toys and technology there, and so it's a big technology show. So things that you won't see, scanners, computer-aided design and computer-aided milling for crowns and things like that. Implant stuff is huge. I mean, just you can't even imagine. It's like 12 massive halls like you would have one in the U.S. It's huge.
Well, really? I've got a hole in my mouth, and you're putting an implant in, and you mentioned that you'd be using a scanner to kind of 3D scan the area, and then I assume CAD and some sort of milling machine.
Did you use a 3D printer and just print them off a tooth?
You know what's really interesting is that's coming. That's part of the thing that's coming is 3D printing, and we're starting to use a little bit of 3D printing for our model work in our office.
Really?
Yeah, so that's something that's really neat. And a lot of the really interesting stuff that's being done in Europe and Spain in particular is that they can digitally design a smile perfectly because they take all the proportions of the face and everything together, which is something that we've had to do. You transfer the model to the lab. Well, if you do it all digitally, you can do it perfectly and really precisely, and then you have just much more control over the whole process, and you get a perfect ending instead of something that's a guesstimation. Yeah, exactly. We try to take the guesswork out of it. So that's something that we're working really closely with the people in Spain that do it the best of anybody in the world. So
you guys are staying on top of technology, but the most basic thing of just smiling is something we can all
that has nothing to do with technology, right? I mean, that's just a very human thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and Lou, you probably learned this. You've been in radio since the last ice
God
age.
left Omaha.
And one of the first things they teach you is, you think of radio, there's no pictures, but they teach you to smile when you talk.
Smile when you're on the air because people can tell.
They can even tell when they can't see you if you're smiling.
You absolutely can, yeah.
And
well, it changes. Imagine when you're around somebody that never smiles and how you feel. And then when you're around somebody that's, like Jackie.
I like to smile. Yeah, people ask about that all the time, but I enjoy smiling. But it also, I'm proud of. This sounds really weird, but I'm proud of. I'm confident about who I am, but also my teeth and my smile. I know it's a good one, so I like showing it off. But a lot of people don't always feel that way. But coming to someone like a dentist can definitely make a big difference.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what. I mean, everybody enjoys what they do for a reason. And that's what we really love. I mean, when you take somebody that comes in and they won't smile, and you take them to a place where they can really express themselves and be themselves. I mean, you can't be yourself if you don't. You can't be yourself if you don't smile.
Do people still cover their mouth when they smile? Do people still do that
all the time?
I haven't seen it for a while.
They come into our office where they know it's a safe place, and they cover their mouth. I mean, they still. I mean, it's such a habit. They can't do it. And when we do, the digital smile design for people, they can't. You can see they can't lift their. I mean, they can't really smile. And then you put the digital smile in their mouth, and I mean, we actually can physically put a new smile in somebody's mouth to show them, and you can see the whole smile changes. I mean, they instinctively they can smile because they love it. They know that it's a great smile.
And it's going to look good.
It's really interesting, really interesting.
And technology has taken us there, but there's simple things you can do to get people to that.
Tons of simple things. Tons of simple things. I mean, and part of it is, I mean, everybody wants to feel good about themselves. Everybody wants to be happy. That's a human thing. That doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if you're in Germany or wherever you are. That's a normal thing. And I think that's something. That's what makes us really excited to go to work every day. Is that we can really help people to do that.
Some of the changes you can make are structural. Some of them are admittedly cosmetic. What does insurance take care of, and what do they not take care of?
For the most part, cosmetic isn't covered. I mean, it's the same thing as buying a new outfit or a new pair of shoes or a car. I mean, our car insurance doesn't pay for the cost of the car; it pays for the destruction of the car. Right. if you do something bad to the car. So it's the same concept really of that. Insurance for dental is wonderful. It's very limited. It's not meant to cover. It's meant to cover small things. It's not meant to cover.
Yeah, back in the day, back in the 60s and 70s, insurance for dental was totally different. Back in the big union days, the union dental plans covered everything. Right. But it's not like that anymore.
It's not like that anymore. And it's, statistically, the reason it's not like that is statistically, like 90% of the population, they're going to spend less than $1,000 a year at the dentist. So it's not a catastrophic thing. Right. It's something that most budgets, can handle, $50 a month or so, or a little more than that. And so when you get beyond that, then that's when it doesn't cover, and that kind of makes sense.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that. In case somebody doesn't have dental insurance, and they came to you and say, I need to get on a program, I need to get on a plan. Could you steer them in the right direction to get on something?
We have a plan in our office, right? Because we know that people that don't have insurance, they want that security, and it makes a lot of sense for them to have a plan. And so we help people with that because it helps them to feel like they have, and so they really do have coverage.
Yeah. So there's options, there's opportunities out there. Is it as simple as just picking up the phone or checking out a website if you're wanting to improve?
Yeah, it really is. And and that's the thing. I mean, I know we've talked about this several times before, but if you're uncomfortable going to the dentist, try a new dentist. I mean, try somebody that might make you feel more comfortable. And that's what we really specialize in, is bringing people in, making them feel very comfortable, and really validating your fear is accurate. I mean, when I go on roller coasters, I'm afraid. I understand fear very well. And so if you come into the dentist and you feel very, very fearful, that's something that we manage every day for people. So it's normal to feel that way for the most part.
So if you hate going to the dentist, you might just need to find a new dentist.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a simple statement to make, and we want to make sure everyone has a great smile out there. So if people want to check out your office, Dr. Mohan, how can they do that?
Well, the easiest way that most people find us is dmsmiles.com. That's
still a
simple,
great website.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so dmsmiles.com, and then you can always give us a call, 612-7148.
Perfect.
Well, good to see you. Nice to see your smiley face after such a long time.
I know.
Don't be such a stranger.
I'll try not to.
Okay. And smile.
Thank you.